In for a fantastic 5 minutes. No pressure, David.
Thank you very much for that. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yep, go.
Go.
Alright, so one thing that I really dislike about Twitter are the promoted tweets. And I've got really good at ignoring them, generally speaking. I don't pay any attention when they appear. But then last year something appeared in my timeline that kind of caught my attention. It's a promoted tweet from the Daily Star saying that 10 million killer spiders were on the loose and heading to the UK. Now this surprised me because 10 million is an awful lot of spiders to be arriving presumably en masse based on this headline. And killer spiders, there aren't that many really true killer spiders. So I had to dig a bit deeper and had a look at the story that the Star had done and looked at this. So here you would have plague killer spiders. You would imagine from this there would be evidence of millions of spiders that can kill you. When you read the story, it turned out there was no evidence of anything of the sort. No evidence of millions, no evidence of killers, nothing of the sort. I blogged about it, and that was the month that I blogged about it. It did a very interesting thing to my statistics, and then I kind of went to the Press Complaints Commission, nothing ever happened, and I gave up and got really bored of it. So I was really surprised last week to see this on the BBC, because the BBC is a reputable source of information. The BBC, if they have a story like this must be true. But when I read the story, I couldn't find anything that really seemed to actually back it up. I tracked it down in the Durham Chronicle and found that this lady had lost her finger after a spider bite, read down into the article trying to find out more detail about where this had come from and had this really been the case. And it turned out there was indeed some sort of bite on her finger that the doctors had seen, and there's lots of references in the story to poison, but when you get down to the bottom there is a crucial bit that says she had necrotizing fasciitis. This is a bacteria. This is not actually poison. This has not come out of the spider's fangs. This is just something that she's got into a wound on her arm that may well have come from a spider bite, but it could have been from absolutely anything else. And when you do Google search, you find all manner of these false widow bit me and horrible things happened. And I apologise because the next slide that comes up has a very gruesome picture. So you get false widow spider made my leg explode. To cut to the short of this, no it didn't. This was another person who was cleaning out his shed. Something happened to him, no evidence of spiders, no evidence of bites, but he got a bacterial infection, got infected, got gangrene, had to have operations. Here we have an insect expert bitten by the menacing false widow. Spiders can't menace you. I know it feels like that sometimes. Honestly, they're not thinking about it. Here we have a teenager who had got bit in the cinema by a spider apparently. Again, she was in the cinema, it was dark. At what point does she work out it's a spider, let alone identify the species? She's a teenager in the cinema. I don't think she got her mobile phone out, photographed it and identified it. Builder lost his thumb. When it's the second time he'd been bitten in a year by a spider he never saw and never identified. And when you get down to it again, you find the same thing. He was cleaning out a shed and something in the shed got him an injury. Here's one of my favourites. This woman put her onesie on and got bitten on the arse by a spider apparently. Or so she claims. Given antibiotics, but again, same thing. Nothing to do with the venomous arachnid. Again, we're talking about bacterial infections and people not cleaning themselves. My favourite of all, false widow spiders killed my guinea pigs. This is absolutely wonderful by the Daily Mail, of course. And again, where does the connection come? They found a cobweb in the box in which they kept their guinea pigs, 3 dead guinea pigs, therefore spiders had killed their guinea pigs. My favourite bit is when the tabloids do the really great one. The danger's been overhyped, says the Daily Mail. Yes, it has been overhyped by you. A lot of people overhyping it, so why are you doing this? The other thing that I really love is that most of these stories are accompanied by pictures of spiders that frequently are not even the spider they claim. One Star story, this is a false widow by the way, one Star story had 6 pictures of spiders, only 4 of which had 4 different species in the 6 pictures, and only one of those 6 pictures was actually a false widow. This is a wolf spider. You might see these very commonly around your house. Again, no threat to you, nothing to worry about, no danger. As with any spider, unless you actually have an allergic reaction, you're not going to die. This is a common giant house spider. You'll be seeing tons of these at the moment. Do not fear them. They're lovely things. They're very friendly. If they did bite you, clean your wound off and all the rest of it. But again, don't worry, they can't do you any harm. These are everywhere at the moment. This is the best year I've ever seen for these garden orb weavers. They're the most beautiful things. They're filling your garden at the moment. They're tremendous. And do not be afraid of them. So I'm making this whole point about you shouldn't be afraid of spiders. You shouldn't listen to everything you see in the tabloids. But apparently they have been seen in York. So I'm just saying, if I'm wrong, you do need to be aware and be careful. Thank you very much.